Hi and welcome to another video in my Photoshop Essential Skills series. Now this is everything you need to know to get you well and truly started on your journey of discovery with Photoshop. In this video we're going to be looking at actions, how to make and run and save them so you can share them with others. Now don't forget, if you're a fan of the printed page, there is a free ebook to accompany the video. Just click on the link in the More section under the video to download it. Okay, let's dig in. Okay, what are we going to learn in this video? Well, firstly, we're going to learn how to open the Actions panel. Secondly, we're going to create an action set. Third, we're going to record an action. And finally, we're going to save out an action. Okay, lots to do. Let's get on. Okay, an action is a series of tasks that you can, Photoshop can record and play back as a single file, and it can include menu commands, panel options, tool actions, and so on. They're really useful for repetitive tasks that you use frequently. Now, actions are recorded, so as you make them, you have to be really careful to follow the steps you've planned out carefully, because if you make a mistake, then that mistake will occur every time you run the action. Or it will mean that the action will fail and it won't run at all. Now today what we're going to do is we're going to take this twirl background image here and we're going to try to turn it into something like this, a nice twirly background, by using some filters and using them in an action. Okay, so let's make a start. I'll just bring my layers panel in so you can see it. Now first thing is the actions panel. Well, where does that live? Well, it lives in the window menu and under actions, or there's a keyboard shortcut of Alt and F9, or if you're on a Mac, Option and F9. And that brings up the actions panel we can see here. Now there are lots of actions that I've got in here, but the first important thing to note is that an action cannot live on its own. It must have a little folder that it lives in, and this is called an action set. Now down at the bottom here we can see we've got a few controls. We've got this one which is the stop playing. It's just like a video recorder. Oh dearie me, that does tell you how old I am, doesn't it? A video recorder. It just tells you that this is to stop the action running. This one here is to begin the recording. This one here is to play the selection. What that means is play the action. And here we've got create a new set. This one here is create a new action. Well, we'll start with creating a new set. And I'll click on that. And let's call this set Artistic Twirl, because we're going to use the twirl filter. And I'll click OK. And now you can see I've got a little folder, a little set here that's called Artistic Twirl. Now we're going to use an action, so let's create that, and we'll go down to the Create New Action button and we'll click on that, and we'll call this as well Artistic Twirl. Now we're going to put it in the Artistic Twirl set. You can see I've got loads of other actions that I use, but we're going to put it in that Artistic Twirl set, so if we need to save it out we can. I'm not going to bother with a function key or a colour today. And I'm just going to click record. Now you'll see now that the record button has gone red. Now Big Brother Photoshop is watching now. So you've got to be really careful, make a mistake, and you've probably got to do it all again. Now first thing I want to do is to apply what's called a mezzotint filter. So to find that I'm going to go up to the filter menu and down to pixelate and down to mezzotint. Oops, missed it. Pixelate down to mezzotint. This brings up the mezzotint dialog box. I want to set the type for medium strokes. There's several others, but we'll just set this for medium strokes so it stretches things out laterally, and then we'll click OK. Now you can see what that's done to the image, and you can see in our Artistic Twirl now we have one step in our action, which is mezzotint. Okay, so far so good. Next we're going to add another filter, and this one it's called radial blur. And this I'm going to go up to the filter menus again and into blur and down to radial blur. And I'm going to set the amount right up to 100. I want zoom as my blur method, and I want best. And I'm going to click OK. And we'll see what effect it has. I'll just move my actions panel out the way. And you can see now that we've now got 2 steps. So I can do things like moving the actions panel and it won't get recorded, but anything major that we do or click on will get recorded. So I've now got a mezzotint and a radial blur. Now I'd like to run this radial blur filter exactly the same another 5 times. But rather than have to go back in and repeat everything 5 times, if I go up to the filter menu, you'll see the top item here once you've run a filter is the last filter you've run. So you can click on that to run exactly the same parameters again. And there's a nice little keyboard shortcut of Alt, Control and F, or if you're on a Mac, Option, Command and F. And all I'm going to do is now press that keyboard shortcut another 5 times. So Control, Alt and F. And Control, Alt and F, so I'll do it again. I'll do it a 3rd time. I'll do it a 4th time. And just for good luck, I'll do it a 5th time. There we go. And we can see them building up nicely now. Photoshop's building up a record in the action of everything that I'm doing. Okay, now it's time to duplicate the layer. So I'm going to go over to my layers panel here and I'm going to right click and select duplicate layer. We'll leave it as background copy, it doesn't really matter, and we'll click OK. And again you can see in the actions panel now I've got a duplicate current layer that's appeared at the bottom. Now just make sure that my topmost layer is active, which it is, and I'm now going to run a filter on this layer, and I'm going to run the twirl filter. So I'm going to go up to filter and I'm going to go down to distort and I'm going to go down to twirl. And here's the twirl dialog box, and all we can just add an angle. Now for this one I'm going to put a positive angle in of 80. You can see that it twirls everything round to walk clockwise around that center point. And I'll click OK. And then I'm going to click on my background layer to activate that, and I'm going to run the twirl filter again. So I'm going to go to filter and distort and twirl. But this time I'm going to try another figure, and I'll try a minus figure. So I'll try minus 80, and it twirls it the other way. And then I'll click OK. So now I've got 2 layers here, one that twirls one way and one that twirls the other way. So I'm going to click on the top layer, and now I'm going to change the blending mode of that layer. And here's where we can have a look and we can see what we've got. We'll have a look at a dark mode. I think that looks quite cool. Let's try a lighten or a screen. Not that bothered about that one. Okay, let's try darker colour. Do I like that one better than darken? Not much difference really. So oh, that's a multiply or linear burn, I think it was. No, I don't like that. We'll go for darker colour, and I quite like that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now final thing to do is just to flatten the layers down. So I'm going to go to my panel flyout menu, and I'm going to go down to merge visible. And when I've done all this, I can come over and I can stop the action recording by saying stop playing and recording. And there we go. Now if you take a look in the actions panel here, you can see I've got quite a few of these set current layers, and that was what happened there. Was when I was demonstrating to you how to change the blend modes, it was picking that up as a step each time. And if I click this little right arrow here, it opens up to show me what this set current layer is all about. And of course that's saying I was setting the blend mode to screen. Well, I don't want that one. And that one to darker colour. That's the one that I finished up on. So now what I can do is I can go and click on that one and drag it in the bin, and I can click on that one and drag it in the bin. So I'll just get rid of all these. I'll get rid of that one, and I'll get rid of that one. So now I've got my set current layer as my final thing, and then merge visible. I'll merge them together. Okay, that's about it. I think it's about time we tested this out. So let's go back and revert my image, see if I can revert it back to the start. We'll go to File and Revert. There we are, we're back at the original image again. Now I'm going to go to my artistic twirl, and this is the start of my artistic twirl action. That's the first point, so I need to click on that to activate it. And then I'm going to click the play action, or as it's called here, play selection. And we'll see how it goes. And there it is. Now some of these filters that we're using are actually quite processor intensive, so they could take quite a while if you were to render out and do everything. So don't be surprised if you're waiting a bit. Now a way around this is to resize your images before you start. Probably around the 2000 pixel is not that bad, and it will render out fairly quickly. If you put really high res images in, it will take a lot longer, but you'll get a better quality picture out at the end of it. And your computer might heat up a bit. Okay, so now we've made an action, we may want to save it out to archive it, or we might want to email it to somebody. And we can do that from the panel flyout menu here in the Actions panel. First thing though is to make sure that your artistic twirl action set is highlighted, because you can't export or save out just one action. It has to be one action in an action set. So it's the action set that you must click to make sure that's active. And then we're going to go to the panel flyout menu, and we're going to go down to Save Actions. And then wherever you've got your actions saved to, I've got a little actions folder here that I put everything in, and I'm going to call this Artistic Twirl, and I'm going to click Save. And that's it, all saved out now. So if you wanted to email this to somebody, you could just email them that .atn file, and then all the recipient has to do is double click on the ATN file, and it will automatically install itself into Photoshop. Now here's what your ATN file will look like on your desktop or wherever you save it out to. And like I said, all you do, double click it, and it will open that up into Photoshop. And this is the one that you would email to people if you want them to get access to your actions. Well, this action in itself is pretty limited, but try it out, see if it works. But wouldn't it be nice if the action could resize the image for you and stop to let you change parameters on all the filters? Well, it can, and we'll explore that in part 2. Well, that's it for this video. I do hope you liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, or leave a comment under the video, or share it with a friend or two. Now don't forget to check out the more area under the video for the link for any download files or free ebooks. And please click the subscribe button, so when I upload a new video you are the very first to know. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.